Welcome to episode 16 in the Johan Explains series. Today we're going to take a look at a track that was very important to me when I grew up. It's the intro to Danger Money by UK. Danger Money by UK. It was released back in 1979, but I didn't hear it until I was like 18, so a couple of years later. Yes, I am that old. And this album is unique. I think it is a combination of sounds and compositions. There's a lot of like wrong chords, a lot of tension, and I think unusually so for being a prog album. So this album inspired me a lot when I was younger. And still, when I go like into prog mode, when I write something, there will always be a little bit, a fragment of UK Danger Money in there that you can hear if you really listen for it. Let's talk a little bit about the musicians on this album. It's a trio. Eddie Jobson. His keyboard sounds, well, you have kind of a classic electric piano and you have the aggressive Hammond, but you have his unique synth pads. Wow. There's something about the sound, Eddie Jobson's sound, like his synth sounds, that are magical to me. I can't reproduce them. When I try to do something UK, I fail miserably at recreating his synth sounds. They are just amazing and very unusual to me. Terry Bozzio, there's a lot to be said about this drummer. I mean, he played with Zappa. Listen to his playing when he plays with Zappa. When he plays Black Page Part 2, wow. This guy is amazing, and his signature things is his flams and his powerful single strokes, and he is just amazing on this album. It's compact, it's tight, and he never overdoes it. It's very tasteful and it's explosive but tight. And John Wetton, wow, what a bass player he was. He was amazing. The sound he has on this album is very full, it's rich, and it's aggressive. And he has that plectrum attack with the sharp, distorted transients. It's just fantastic, I think. It's very different from when Genesis did the distorted bass thing. They did it like an effect. It was more like Rutherford has like more of a fuzz thing that is going on like on top of the bass sound. Wetton has this thing when distortion is part of the core, is part of the bass sound, and it makes it cut through the mix. And I just love this bass sound. Actually, I had a friend working in a studio like 20 years back. He played the bass, and he was in the control room and listened back to what he played, and he got this comment. Somebody told him, well, this sounds a bit like Wetton, like the sound and the way you're playing. And he was like, wow, that was like a badge of honor to him. And I think Wetton is that kind of bass player. I think he is just underrated, tight and heavy and aggressive, and I just love it. About this album, Danger Money, it's not only that it inspired me a lot when I grew up, it's also that, to me, there's like a bunch of sections on this album that defines how good progressive rock really should sound. I mean, that's like my opinion, but it means that much to me. So we're going to do what we do in these episodes. I'm going to try to show you how to understand this intro and how to play it. And about these episodes, I do them all by ear. And there are two reasons for that. The first one is that I don't read music that well. And the second reason is that the transcription that I see, they are most of the time way off. So those are the reasons I do it by ear, and I do my best. And if I can't hear some things, some voicings or some chords, I'm going to tell you. So I'm going to be like upfront with that, so you know what you're getting. So let's do my playthrough. And this time I'm going to try something new. I've divided my screen so you can see the keyboard parts. You can see the keys, you can see the bass lines, you can see the drum part, and you can also see in major letters when they change the time signature. So I think this is going to be pretty instructive. And after that, we can talk a little bit about this. Alrighty, so let's talk a little bit about this intro. So I set up so you can see what I'm playing. Now, this intro starts with a D-flat major chord, like that. And the note that makes it major is, of course, the F. The minor note makes it minor as the E, but it's major. And what note do they place in the bass? Well, it's the minor one. It's like, that is so wrong, and I just love it. It's tension, 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 and they resolve it back here. And we do that again, wrong, and tension, and resolve, and again. And the third time, we go down to this wonderful chord, which is an E minor with a D flat and the bass. And now things start to happen. How about this? I love that. There's an F sharp major with a C in the bass. And how about the next chord? It's a G major with a B flat. There's so many wrong chords here. I just love it. And it kind of, all that tension gets a bit resolved when we land on the A major. It's like, oh, we get the release, but not quite, because the bass note is not A, it's A flat. And even more resolve here. Here we can breathe a little bit. And back. So on these chords, we get release from the tension, but we still are building and building. A lot of things are happening in the keyboard sounds here. And then we go up to which all aims down at. And here is the first, like, okay, we land, we get the release, and we also get this build, because here comes the monophonic synth sounds. We get to the G major. So it gets easier to digest here, and we get this, okay, cool, now we're talking. C major, F in the bass, C minor with F in the bass. And then we have the final chord, which is, and then we have all the glides. If I do them without the glides, we have, and we glide. So we glide a full step. It's the same chord that glides, and then a half step, and then down 3 steps. Oh, this tension, I love this. And then down half step. And that's the end. Now, to be honest, I can hear almost all the notes, but I can't really figure out exactly what's going on here. On this, I'm not sure. I think I am correct, but I don't know. It's very hard to hear because there's so much going on with his keyboard sounds, and when we land on the G major, there are a lot of different keyboard parts playing different voicings and stuff. So this is just what I hear. So I'm not 100% sure. But what he does, he does these glides like that, and he glides the same. He holds the same chord and goes down and down and down. So it's D minor, D flat minor. Now, I haven't said a lot about Terry Bozzio or John Wetton, what they do on this intro, because I think this intro is all about Eddie Jobson on steroids. I think it's his doing. The magic in this intro is by his hands. That's what I think. But when I did the drum part, Terry Bozzio's drum part, I think I got all the hits correct. I'm pretty sure I got them correct. There is something very interesting happening. Apart from that, he plays extremely tastefully, and that the time signature changes all the time between 9/4s and 4/4s. It's straight 8 notes or 16 notes going on. Apart from one thing, he plays a bass drum, a kick, which is in shuffle, in triplet feeling. I don't know if it's a mistake. I kind of think that it is, because it's very low in volume, this kick. It's like he accidentally hit the kick pedal. I don't know. I have no idea. But I programmed it exactly like he played it. So see if you can find that shuffle kick in there. So there you have it, the intro to Danger Money by UK, one of the most inspiring and influential intros to me when I was young and grew up. And as usual, If you enjoy my content, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching.